All right, mastering Google Ads, whatever day this is. Okay. So today, just as a little note on Google Ads, I was using the speed and performance testing tool to test our landing pages. And I've been creating a bunch of trials and tests and mock-up ads, or landing pages, and made some good improvement. Got like SEO to the max score, got accessibility to the max score, best practices the max score, but then performance is just been pretty difficult with my go high level landing page. But definitely made progress today. Spent about an hour or two. I lost track of time. Oh my gosh, it might have been more than that. Working on these landing pages might have been closer to 2.5. Made some progress though. That's all that matters, I guess. And I'm assuming that increasing all these best practices and getting these scores up faster, getting the landing page to load faster, getting all this stuff upgraded, better SEO will lead to basically just free money, because Google will be like, this is a higher quality landing page, higher quality this and that, increase the quality score. And maybe not though, but yeah, indirectly it will get more leads potentially. Google will serve it up more often. Potentially it will make the cost per click lower, but I'm not sure on that one. I'm not certain on that one. Anyway, we're back with $100 million leads. Yesterday we just about finished up part 1 to paid advertising, and let's try to recall what I read about. I would have read about landing pages, right? And the 3 different types of landing pages, the split test that Hormozi gives, just keeping it simple so that you can keep split testing it for the landing pages. Right, the four problems that you must solve in order to do paid advertising is, first, you got to pick the platform, right? 2, you've got to target, or at least not, you don't have to target, but you have to get the people on that platform that are potentially interested in your product. You got to get their attention. 3, you got to actually create the ads, and 4, you got to collect their information, or contact information. And so 4 we read about yesterday. It's a really short, sweet problem. Basically, just after you get them to take the call to action as part of step 3 or problem 3, solution 3, you want to just collect their information, and an easy way to do that is a landing page. And yeah, okay, that's that. I'm surely missing some stuff. Call to action? Did we read yesterday call to action? Maybe not, but I'll state that call to action, like the people that are watching the ad that have seen the value section and resonated with first you grab their attention with the call out, they watch the value section, they're not interested in what you have to offer. Well, those people are going to be very motivated for a brief amount of time, and you want to capture that motivation by giving a very clear call to action. Clear. It needs to be blatantly clear to the audience and the prospects what action you want them to take and what they need to take next. Okay, there's a little tweet in there, Hormozi, saying basically you want to assume that your prospects and audience knows nothing about you, has no idea about your product or service, or like anything about why they need it. Or maybe not so much that, but kind of. And then assume that they have a grade level education, so simple, clear communication and language, and assume they're in a hurry. Okay, what am I missing now? Cool, we got that tweet. Okay, another way to get that. Okay, yes. Yep, got that. Okay, forgot that, forgot this. Okay, got that. Call to action, quick and easy. Okay, I'm just hearing pounding, and that's irritating. We got to keep moving forward. Here we are. What did I forget? So with those landing pages, you want to make sure that the ad that people click on in the landing page are congruent in their language and everything, their style and their feel and the vibe and the colors and the brand, everything. It needs to be congruent so that when someone clicks on your ad and they get onto your landing page, they're not like, where am I? Like, I was not supposed to get here. They should never have any thoughts like that. It should be like obvious that I clicked this and this is what I got. It's completely what I expected. Cool? Cool. Then he mentioned Cialdini in the book Influence, and he's like, people that have previously taken actions on something, or people in general, want to stay congruent and consistent with their previous actions and identity. So if they've taken your call to action in the past, or just a few seconds ago, you can emphasize that, saying, since you've taken this action, you want to take this action as well, right? You're emphasizing the previous action you've taken and how that relates to this next action you want them to take, right? Or since you've taken this action, you're this type of person, and this type of people act in this way. Next action you want them to take, right? Previous action, how it relates to the action you want them to take now, okay? And then finally, in order to some other ways to get motivate increased call to action is to use scarcity, urgency, and bonuses. These work on a motivating and improving rates of behavior pretty much universally or generally. So that's that. And we've got all that we got left. And Run Paid Ads Part 1 is the conclusion. I'm going to go ahead and read that now, and then I'm going to get back to you guys. I'll be back in a few minor seconds. All right, see ya. All right, folks, that's it. And basically that summary at the end of the chapter was kind of just showing how he built out this whole chapter on paid ads. And I'm sure this mental model framework just came from him thinking, okay, what are the minimum viable products and steps we need to take in order to achieve this goal? And he kind of uses this first principle minimum viable product thinking, and like, okay, well, to get leads, we need to, first of all, show the lead, like get their attention somehow show them an ad, right? Get their attention, right? So we can get their attention through an advertisement. And okay, well then how do we, if we, select a platform to run the ad on, well, like how do we best, get them to take action right now? Well, we have to grab their attention, right? Through the ad, and then that's the call out, and then we have to show them value and give them a reason through the value equation, through value, to take action. And not only just to take action, but to take action right now rather than later. And then when they're motivated and want to take an action, then we have a way to get them to take that action and give their contact information. Cool, okay. Now the next section is called Part 2 to paid ads, the money stuff, which I'm not completely familiar with, or why it would be called the money stuff. Okay, all right. Cool. All right, cool. I think it's more about how much money should you spend, what's the cost per action you want to take, or get, cost per lead, or cost per acquisition, really, customer acquisition cost, and lifetime value. I think that's what this is going to be about, what you want to aim for. And if you don't get that, then just keep trying until you do. All right, so this section's just about 10 pages. Previous section was much longer, 20 pages. So we're 2/3 through the paid ad section of $100 million leads. And this section, but how much do I spend on paid ads? The 3 phases of scaling paid ads. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be about scaling paid ads. So recently I've liked to put what is this section about above chapter titles, above section titles. So track money, lose money, print money. 3 phases of scaling paid ads. Efficiency benchmarks. So ways to track. Personal lessons from paid ads. Your turn. Paid ads part 2 conclusion. And then we're gonna have a bonus training video, which I'm excited to get into. Okay, so let's just start off with these this first half a page up until the 3 phases of scaling paid ads. I'll talk to you guys in a second. All right, so this whole chapter 2 about paid ads is all about scaling paid ads. That's what the chapter is about. And basically, a big point I got again from Hormozy here is that all ads work, right? If you just put it in the mental thought experiment of, if I ran an ad to every single person in the world, people would buy my thing no matter what, if only by accident. So it's not if paid ads work, it's how well do they work. So it's all an efficiency game. And he kind of says it's not about making perfect ads and being super artistic and perfecting copy and creative and media buying, perfecting all this stuff. It's about getting good enough to scale. That's it. Right? That's all that matters. And that's kind of a freeing thought. But good enough is not some subjective thing. There's actually probably an objective thing, or at least according to Hormozy, he has benchmarks, which will be addressed in this chapter. So we'll know what is good enough and what is not good enough, rather than just striving for perfecting all the tweaking all these things to infinitum or ad infinitum. And talks about return on investment a lot, which I appreciate. It's like there's all these things we could do. What's going to actually get us there, and how do we do it like as fast and easy as possible with the least amount of resources? And then it's good enough, scale it. Okay, what breaks next? Fix it. All right, scale it. Right? That's kind of just how it works. And then basically he's like, there's 4. He gives an overview of this chapter. There's 4 questions he's going to answer in this chapter. 4 questions that are addressed. How to scale paid ads. How to know if they're working or not, like benchmarks. If they're not profitable, how to fix it. How to fix the ads, and then lessons that Hormozy has learned as he's done it. Cool. All right. On that note. I will begin reading the first part. All right, I think I can read this intro section and then the part 1 of phase 1 of scaling ads. So I'll be back in a few seconds. All right, guys, to wrap up today. Maybe not quite. We'll see how much time we have left. Basically, this first question that's being answered in this chapter is, how much do I spend? And Hormozy says there's 3 stages of scaling ads in his opinion, or the way he sees it. Phase 1 is tracking. Phase 2 is losing money. Phase 3 is making money. Or do you say printing money? One of them. Same idea. So phase one I just read, really short and sweet. It's basically like you need to be able to track everything. You need to be able to track, essentially though, how much are you spending on ads? What's it costing you? And two, what's the amount of revenue and profit, that's take home profit, that's being brought home from the ads. If you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to like lose all your money, essentially get cleaned out, as he said. It's like going to a casino with no, you're just playing games as much as you want, with no idea of how much you can afford to lose. Just you're like, I just feel like it. So you need to be able to track everything, but really it boils down to how much are we spending? How much is it costing us to create these ads and to run these ads? That's simple, but then how much revenue is being brought in directly from these as a result of these ads? And then you can know, are we profitable or are we not profitable? Right? Okay. Short and sweet. How much time we got? 10 seconds. All right. That will be it then for today. Tomorrow we'll get into phase two, losing money. So very excited to lose money. All right. Talk to you later.